Hello friends, welcome to Flosstube and Variety Show number 52. I'm Emily Williams in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I'm really glad to have you join me this evening. It is evening of Friday, July 22nd, and I'm sorry to say you may hear I just realized that the dishwasher is running. I hope that won't be too distracting. I've had, well, as you know, or some of you know because you saw my short on my channel last week, I was on vacation last week, so I didn't make a video. And I have a huge day tomorrow, a huge weekend, so I didn't want to put off making a video. And I just realized that my husband helpfully started the dishwasher. Oh well, we'll just have to deal with it. I hope it won't be too bad. Anyway, this is Flosstube, meaning cross stitch, and Variety Show, meaning other things. And tonight will be probably more Variety Show than cross stitch, because I'm going to tell you a little bit about our trip and a couple of other things going on, or that I want to tell you about. So first I will show you Under the Roof of Blue Ionian Weather, charted by Golden Kite. This is a full coverage piece, and it's a reproduction of a painting, and I've been working on it since March 28th of 2021, so over a year. Here's a, so if I'm sorry, I don't usually take it out of the hoop until I really have to move the hoop, because it's I need a screwdriver to operate that particular clamp, and it's just too much trouble. I'm sorry, too much trouble to take it out for the video. But I have done quite a bit in here, over here. It's hard to tell. I've done probably 400 stitches since the last time I made a video. I would have done more, except that I was away, and you may recall that I had intended to stitch just over 2,000 stitches on it from July 1st until this coming Sunday. I've stitched just over 1,000 stitches on it since July 1st. The project that, the thing that it was connected to, that number of stitches, was the polka dot jersey in the Tour de France competition that's going on in the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. And excuse me, I'm not going to make it because I have a busy day tomorrow. I will not have time to do 1,000 stitches tomorrow and Sunday. I have a busy day tomorrow and Sunday. I'll tell you more in a minute. But I'm pleased with what I have accomplished. This area here is another woman. You can sort of see in the, right here, this is where I am. So it's her dress, her sleeve, and then another woman is next to her on the marble bench. And they have some roses next to them on the bench. And I probably won't move the hoop until I've done another maybe 1,000 stitches or so in that area, because there's quite a bit I can still fill in here. And I have up here in the sky area too, that is behind this rose bush area. It's pretty neat. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, except that I seem to be enjoying other things more. One of the goals in that Full Coverage Fanatics group is to do 22,000 stitches in 2022 on one project, so that would be my project. And I've done about almost 7,000 stitches, I think, so I have quite a ways to go. If I were to stitch about 102 stitches a day between now and the end of the year, I could do it. And I can easily do that if it is indeed my focus piece. So, don't know about that. The next one I'll show you is sampler number 193. And I picked this up this week because I was pretty busy, and I'll tell you also in a moment what I've been busy with. And I wanted something that was easy to make some progress on. So this is by 2x2 Stitch Art. And this is a Ukrainian designer that you can download many beautiful patterns of hers on Etsy. 2x2 Stitch Art, and that information, along with all the information for pieces that I show, are in the description box. And this is how far I am. So this is the center that I started at, and I'm moving up. And my goal is to go up to the top edge, which is going to be around here, and then work my way around. And a lot of fun. This is white 16 count Aida by Zweigart. And it's DMC number 777 is the red color, in case you are keeping track at home, keeping score at home. So this is fun. It's relaxing. Sometimes you need that kind of a project. Now, because we were away, and because I have an urgency going on with this commission quilt, I haven't done much cross stitch other than what I just showed you, but I will show you another segment of this quilt. So again, this is it right set up? Yes. So I will tell you that when I look at this, my eyes do tricks on me, play tricks on me in terms of whether it's right side up or upside down. These dark blue pieces are the top of the block. And the piece that is from the viewer's standpoint to the right, that turquoise peacock blue piece, is to the right of the block. And then the multiple colors are the light side of the block. Except that if you look at it, your eyes will make the blocks flip upside down. In fact, my eyes just did that to me. Now I don't have any trouble working on it and getting it all mixed up when I'm working on it, because I stitch these hexagons out of the 3 60-degree diamonds on the sewing machine, but I'm sewing the hexagons together by hand, and when I align the hexagon, I just make sure this is at the top and it's in the same orientation of the pieces I'm sewing it to, and I don't have any trouble. But looking at it, my brain does weird things. Here's the mock-up of it, of what the whole thing is going to look like. This is not an exact rendering of it, because the software that I use to design quilts, called Electric Quilt. This is Electric Quilt 8. The way it prints, it just doesn't work. It doesn't seem to talk well with my printer, so it prints a funny color. But I put in basically so Monday, we got back Sunday from our trip, and our son and daughter-in-law stayed with us Sunday night and most of the day Monday. So Monday I did not really do anything except a little laundry and goofing off with them, sort of the follow-up to our vacation together. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all I worked on pretty much was that quilt. I feel somewhat of a sense of urgency to keep moving on it. I'm not quite half through with the piecing. In fact, I would say I'm maybe a third of the way through with the piecing. So I have to keep moving on that. Now, I want to talk to you about our trip. I didn't tell you in advance about our trip because I don't know, it just seemed like maybe not a good idea to tell the world, which is an unfiltered look on YouTube, that Emily Williams of Chapel Hill, North Carolina was going to be out of town. So I didn't say anything in advance, but I'm happy to tell you after the fact. Now, we participated last week in revenge travel. That's what I've seen it called. People who have been prevented from traveling for the past 2 years and more because of the pandemic. Doggone it, they're going to travel this year, and we were in that number. Now, we weren't really in that number with that attitude, but there was a certain sense of strong desire and urgency to get out and see my family in Seattle area, because we hadn't been out there. I hadn't been out there since possibly late spring of 2019. It might have been that long ago. I can't exactly remember. And I would have gone in spring, April or May or June of 2020, but couldn't. So, and my aunt, who lives out there, my mother's sister, is 94 years old. So, I feel like I should take advantage of opportunities to see her. Her daughter, my cousin, and her family live out there also. And I hadn't seen them either, of course, in that time. And so it was really important to go out there. So my husband and I and our son and daughter-in-law all went. And our son noted that the last time we were all together with that family was 4 years ago. And the time before that he was out there, this is before he and his wife were married, was 4 years before that. So it seems like every 4 to 5 years is when we all make the trip out there, and then I go the other years. I go at least once a year, roughly once a year the other years. So it had been a while since any of us had been out there. But we had a very nice time, and I've been sticking a few pictures in from time to time. In particular, and I made the little short video from Artist Point, which is in the northern part of the U.S. side of the Cascades, the U.S., not in Canada, but the U.S. border across on the U.S. side. Let me just get my mouth in order here. Anyway, we went up in particular to see Mount Baker and Mount Shuksan, which are the big mountains in that area. And Mount Baker is visible from Edmonds, Washington, which is where my aunt lives, and it's visible really from the whole coastal area if foothills are not blocking your view. And it in particular is visible from Bellingham, Washington, which is where my aunt and uncle used to live, where I visited them many, many times. And my aunt always called it our Mount Baker. So we went up to see our Mount Baker and also to see Mount Shuksan. And interestingly, I would say 20 years ago, roughly, I can't remember the exact year that we as a family were out, but my son was a youngster, maybe 7 or 8 years old, give or take. We went up there to Artist Point, and we went to Picture Lake, and our son took a picture of Byron and me. And this time he took a picture of us because at some point I'll find that other picture, that older picture. And of course we haven't changed at all, neither has Mount Shuksan. But it's the lake that is in front of Mount Shuksan that often you can see a beautiful reflection of Mount Shuksan in that lake, especially if the water is still, which it wasn't this time that we were there, but it was that other time, as I recall. But as I say, I haven't found the picture. But I also wanted to show you that Artecy cross stitch has charted a photograph of Mount Shuksan. And I just think it's great. I purchased this chart maybe last year, thinking that I might stitch it at some point. It's not huge. Well, it is kind of huge. It's 22 inches wide by 17 inches high on 16 count. But it only uses 64 colors, and I will say that most of them are either blue or black, if you look at that. Oh yes, and white. So I don't know if I'm gonna really stitch it, but when I saw that this photograph was charted, I thought I had to buy it, because you never know. I I might get inspired and decide to stitch it. So this is not a plan. Don't put that down as Emily is showing us yet another thing that she's going to start. No, that's not it. This is just something of interest. Mount Shuksan. So anyway, and we also went down into Seattle one day and went to the Seattle Bay Aquarium. Seattle Aquarium, I think it's what it's called. It's there on Elliott Bay, and that was very interesting. They had a petting zoo. I guess they call it a touch tank in an aquarium. And they had seals, harbor seals, and another kind of seal, fur seals, and sea otters, and many different kinds of fish. Their exhibits mostly covered Elliott Bay and that north coast of the Pacific Ocean, the kinds of fish and habitats that you would see there. But they also had tropical fish, because we all want to look at colorful fish, and they tend to be more colorful in the tropical waters. They also, in that aquarium, have a coral nursery where they actually grow coral from broken off pieces of coral from their exhibits and things like that. So I think that's pretty neat. So we had an excellent trip. We enjoyed seeing the family. The weather could not have been more perfect. It was glorious. And we just had such a good time. I'm really glad we went, even though it was crazy. It's really crazy. Crazy. If you've priced rental cars even, you know that it's kind of crazy to be traveling. So the other interesting thing that happened in the last couple of days is our son and daughter-in-law are getting ready to move to a different apartment. And so he was asking about boxes, and so I was thinking through what do I have that we could give them this weekend when they come back that would be helpful. And I thought, well, I have a box of packing paper, you know, unprinted newsprint, that type of paper that you use to wrap your dishes or something. And I thought I'll just give him that. We do not need to keep half of a box of packing paper, since the last time we moved was in 1997. Yeah. So I pulled that box out and it rattled. And I said, wow, this is weird. This doesn't sound like the contents are packing paper. And I opened the box and discovered it was knickknacks that we have not unpacked since 1997. So how much do we really need those knickknacks? Yes, well, let's not examine that topic too closely, shall we? But I will say that I found something in there that I have been looking for on and off for 27 years. And I even mentioned it in video number 11, back from last August, about a year ago. And that is, I found my Olympic medal from the 1980 Winter Olympics. Now, if you want to know why I have this, I really would request and ask you to go and watch that video, number 11, from August 8th of 2021. But this is a replica, the regular size, full size replica of the medal given to the Winter Olympic athletes who won gold, silver, or bronze. This happens to be made of pewter. And it was given to them. This is a replica of their medal that they would win if they were first, second, or third in their competition. And that was the front of it, and here's the back of it. It has the Olympic creed, I think, on the back of it. Let's see, does it have anything on the side? Yes. Well, it says it was made in 1978, but the games were in 1980. And as you will learn in more detail if you go back and watch video number 11, I was a participant in the 1980 Winter Olympics. And so you need to watch that video. It was in the variety show portion, of course. And I just don't want to tell the story again, because those of you who have watched the video don't want to hear it again. And those of you who haven't watched the video, you should really just go back and watch it, because it's better back then. And then the other thing I'm going to show you, this is a cross stitch that I finished last year. This is called Temperature Tree by Stitchin'Mommy, and I did not get the chart out again, or the cover sheet, but Stitchin'Mommy, it's with apostrophe, it's I-N apostrophe instead of the full word stitching. Stitchin'Mommy has an Etsy shop, and she also has a YouTube channel, which I enjoy. She puts out a video almost weekly. She has possibly 100 works in progress, and a good number of them are full coverage. A good number of the ones that aren't full coverage are mirabilias, which, if you're familiar with that category, it's a large, very detailed, I guess we call it beautiful ladies type. You know, they're dressed in beautiful dresses, and they have beautiful backgrounds, gardens, or snowflakes, or whatever. It's, you know, thematic designs. And then she does a wide variety of other things. She does a pretty good number of fat quarter shop designs. So, you know, the Lori Holt projects, some of them I've showed you. The flea market flowers I recently completed. I think that, I'm not sure Stitchin'Mommy has actually done that, but that kind of thing. She does. In other words, there's such a variety, you're bound to find something there you're interested in. She doesn't do too many samplers, though, so if you're interested in samplers, you won't find much of interest in what Stitchin'Mommy does. But she also does cross-stitch designs, and she has done a number of temperature projects, and this is one of hers. The reason I'm showing you this is because I want to talk to you about the weather in July in Chapel Hill. So this is from last year. This is 2021 weather. And so this is January, and the darker colors, blues and purples, are the coldest colors. And then we get on into, when you get into pinks and then orange, that's getting a little warmer. And then once you're in yellows, it's getting hot. I think this gold color, for example, for instance, this color right here, I think is maybe mid-80s, something like that. And then you get into the lighter yellows, brighter yellows, and it's hotter, hotter, hotter. And then over here, so each of these branches is a month. So January, February, March, April, May, June. This is July of last year. This is August of last year. And the thing that I want to point out is I didn't have the colors that she called for in her gradation. And I didn't really like some of the colors, the way she had it laid out. I didn't really like that, so I just chose my own colors. And what I did is for the Sundays, the days, each day is a leaf. For the days that were 95 degrees or hotter last year, I used this green color so that it would stand out, so that I would be able to look at that and say, yes, well, he had sort of normal temperatures, and then boom, we really had hot weather those 4 or 5 days in August. Now, if I were making this year for Chapel Hill, I would already have had 3 or 4 of those green colors in the July branch. We have had such hot weather. And this coming weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, we are expecting more hot weather. Hotter weather, I should say. Now, we did have one day a couple of weeks ago, I think I mentioned that the high was over 100. And that's the first time that we've had a high temperature over 100 in 3 or 4 years, I think. Last year we didn't. I think the highest high temperature was 97 last year. This weekend, the forecast high is 97. When we were coming home from Seattle, when we were on the plane, I checked the weather here, And the forecast then was for the high to be 99. And then when I checked on Tuesday or Wednesday, the forecast high was 100, but it's way down now. The forecast high is way down to 97, so there we go. Now, I don't know if any of you are watching from England, and I know that England and Europe has been just unbelievably hot. I mean, I would say unbelievably hot for Europe, but unbelievably hot for anywhere. So I'm not complaining. I don't mean to be comparing. And we are supposed to have temperatures in the 90s here in the summertime. So I'm not complaining. But I'm going to say that we are having people over for a meal on Sunday because it is my husband's and my 40th wedding anniversary on Sunday. So our son and daughter-in-law are coming back, and we're having some friends over, and we're going to have food that I'm going to cook. And we have a great air conditioning system in this house. But even so, with a forecast high of 97 or 99 or 100, we are going to have to really crank it in order to keep the temperature down for the day, for people who are going to be inside. I can do a lot of the cooking on the grill, and I will do that. And we are offering a frozen cocktail, I guess you'd call it. It's called slush, and it's basically, it's a cross between an Arnold Palmer, if you know what that is, which is iced tea and lemonade mixed together, and bourbon with some orange juice, and I guess that's all. Maybe some extra sugar in there to sort of make it palatable, but it's a frozen cocktail. So we're gonna offer that, and we're gonna have champagne and toasts and ribs and things like that. So it'll be a fun gathering, I think, and hopefully we will not get too hot in here. One time we had people over for dinner in the summertime. I think it was for my husband's birthday, or maybe for the couple of people whose birthdays are in July. And I think it's true that our lower floor air conditioner did not actually work. And so we called a friend of ours who's an air conditioning genius, and I think he was able to get it going, but it was a near thing. We might have had to have our dinner in our bathing suits and, you know, hire some people to fan us or something in order to make that comfortable. And I can't remember exactly, but anyway, we survived that too. Right now our air conditioner is working great, so let's just make sure that it stays that way, at least through Sunday. So, do I have anything else? A couple of you may remember that the weekend right after the last time I put a video up, which was around the 8th or so of July, was the World Puzzle Federation Sudoku Grand Prix, which I've been participating in every month. And that was round 7, and I had hoped to get 60 or 80 points out of 600. I got 40 points, but that's all right. That's perfectly fine. My son is also participating now. He, I think, only started with round 5, so I think he's done 3 rounds, and he has 3 times as many points as I do. But, you know, he's smart that way. He's good at this sort of thing, and I have fun with it. And the next time of that is August 8th, or 5th through 8th, which also happens to be Blackbird weekend, so I will be making a video next Friday, Lord willing, and that'll be before that. So, but anyway, thanks to a couple of you who wished me well on that competition. The August date is the last month, and I just don't know what I'm gonna do without having that monthly thing to look forward to. But we'll see. I'll find some way to fill my time, I'm sure. Maybe I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. Yes, I'm working on this commission quilt, a couple of other things that I've been showing you and cross-stitch, like the purple sampler and the tiger, and oh yes, the little sampler from Hands Across the Sea for that weekend coming up, that is coming up as in next year. And one other thing, oh, I guess the Blackbird. I don't have anything new to show you on those. Possibly by next week I will have made some progress, but I will say that I'm really trying to focus on this commission quilt right now, because I feel like I'm close enough to being able to finish that top. If I just really focus on it, put significant time in on it every day, I will get there. And I'm enjoying it. It's not, don't anybody feel, especially the person I'm making it for, if you happen to be watching, Joy, I'm not at all unhappy about focusing on it. I enjoy working on it. I like handwork, and I think it's turning out very well. I just have to make it more of a priority, and so that's what I'm going to be doing, which possibly will mean Under the Roof of Blue Ionian weather doesn't get 22,000 stitches in it this year. We'll see, won't we? Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the pictures from my trip and the new thumbnail with Mount Baker on it. And I hope that you enjoy your stitching this week, or any other things you have going on, any anniversary celebrations or birthdays or whatever else you have, travel, revenge travel, anything that you have going. I hope you enjoy, and I hope that things go well, and many blessings to you, friends.